On October 11th, Archangel Michael declares, "You have a divine calling no one else can fulfill. God has finally unlocked it. Open now." October 11th is not an ordinary day. Heaven marked it long before your birth. This is not a date on a calendar. This is a divine appointment woven into the eternal scroll of your destiny. Before you took your first breath, before you knew what your calling was, before you even believed you were worthy of one, October 11th had already been sealed by heaven's decree. A holy moment in time set aside for your recognition, for your awakening, for your release. Now hear this. Archangel Michael stands between the realms, his sword drawn in radiant fire, holding in his hand a divine scroll, sealed with your name. He waits. He watches. He declares. The seal is breaking. The heavens have opened, and what was once delayed is now being divinely unlocked. This message is not casual. It is not coincidence. And it is not for everyone. This is for the restless ones. The ones whose souls have been stirring, even when their mouths stayed silent. This is for those who have been feeling a pull they can't explain, a pressure in the spirit that comes with no natural cause. A divine tension, like heaven is leaning in. If you've been waking in the night with unshakable thoughts, if you felt distant from the noise of the world, but close to something invisible and holy, you are not losing control. You are gaining awareness. You are being summoned. A divine urgency now pulses in the spirit realm. Something ancient is unfolding. A promise that has been delayed, resisted, and fought for in hidden places is being unlocked. The silence of your season was never absence. It was the preparation for divine perception. And now, only those who have quieted their hearts, who have learned to sit in stillness without answers, will hear the calling in its fullness. The wings of heaven are shifting. The realm of divine order is moving. And the echo of your name is ringing in the courts of God. On this day, October 11th, the scroll opens. The seal breaks. The voice calls. And if you've been feeling the pull, feeling the weight, sensing the mystery in your spirit, this is your moment of recognition. Type "I receive the call" in the comments if you feel this was for you. Blessing code 777 is now activated. Hear me now, child of destiny. For the realm of the unseen is roaring, and your name has echoed through the thunders of heaven. Michael, commander of the Lord's hosts, stands now at the edge of the veil, his flaming sword drawn, not in defense but in declaration. This is no longer about delay. This is no longer about waiting. This is about a divine activation that begins now. This is a holy interruption, a celestial trumpet in your timeline. For in the next 48 hours, alignment begins. Divine coordinates are being issued. Appointments are being shifted. Relationships are being restructured. And by sunrise, if your spirit is open, you will feel the first wave of the heavenly wind brushing across your soul. Heaven's clock has struck your name. The scroll has been loose. And Archangel Michael now declares, you have a divine calling no one else can fulfill. God has finally unlocked it. Open now. Let this truth shake the apathy from your bones. Let it disturb the sleep from your spirit. Let it wreck your excuses and scatter the lies that told you were too late, too broken, too far behind. No, beloved, you are exactly on time for the assignment only you were crafted to carry. This is not for the curious. This is not for the comfortable. This is not for the spectators who dabble in the shallow end of faith. This is for the chosen. This is for the ones who have walked through fire and came out with their worship still intact. This is for those who have felt forgotten, but never stopped hoping. You didn't just survive, you were refined. The crushing didn't kill you. It clarified you. Lightning has danced over your spirit. The winds of God have stirred your mind. And now heaven breaks the silence and interrupts your waiting with one command. Open now. Every delay was divine orchestration. Every silence was a sanctified strategy. Every no, every shut door, every wilderness you didn't understand, it was the sacred hand of God hiding you until the right moment. That moment has come. It is here. You are standing in the first seconds of your assignment's release. And nothing will remain the same. Archangel Michael speaks with thunder. You are the breakthrough your bloodline prayed for. You are the seed of prophecy planted generations ago. And you will now step into the calling the enemy tried to kill before it could live. Heaven was never late. God was never uncertain. The process was never punishment. It was preparation. Now lift your head. Open your hands. And let your heart come into divine agreement. For your assignment is no longer dormant. Your name has passed through the fire, and what remains is holy, chosen, and ready. Heaven says, open now. Type I'm anointed in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. There is something you must understand. Before the scroll was opened, before the decree was released, the atmosphere around you already sensed the shift. The realm of darkness trembled before you even knew what was being birthed. They saw it in glimpses. They felt it in vibrations. And so, they whispered. They murmured. They misjudged you in fragments because they could not interpret the full divine manuscript being written in silence. They watched your silence and assumed defeat. They saw your isolation and called it rejection. They witnessed your delay and labeled it as denial. But they were blind to the mystery God was unfolding. They were deaf to the sound of heaven's hammer striking your name into eternity's foundation. They only knew your visible story, not the hidden war waged for your rising. They did not know your dreams were guarded by angels. They didn't hear the conversations about you in the course of glory. And so, they whispered, not realizing that their voices were background noise to the thunder of your becoming. Some of you felt it, strange energy surrounding you without explanation. People pulled away. Friends changed without warning. Conversations grew cold. You were placed in environments that agitated your spirit. But it was never personal. It was prophetic. That discontent, that disruption, that restlessness, it was the Holy Spirit alerting your soul. You're outgrowing the old realm. It was heaven's way of whispering, get ready. Your name is being lifted before the throne. Yes, they gossiped. Yes, they doubted. Yes, they betrayed what they didn't understand. But hear this, God allowed it. Because their rejection became your redirection. Their silence became your sanctification. Their misunderstanding became your mirror, reflecting how much you were no longer bound to their approval. And in the shadows of confusion, your discernment began to sharpen. You learned to sit in silence and still hear the voice of God. You learned to walk through betrayal and still choose purity. You learned to lose the crowd and still keep your crown. Every strange interaction, every mysterious exit, every sudden shift in relationships, it wasn't the enemy stealing, it was God protecting. Heaven doesn't reveal the full picture until the vessel is ready. You only received fragments because the full weight of your calling was too heavy to handle prematurely. You were hidden, sheltered, covered. And now, the veil is lifting. The mystery is giving way to manifestation. Your restlessness was never random. It was your spirit pressing against the walls of limitation. It was the unborn purpose inside of you stretching, kicking, yearning to breathe. What you thought was confusion was actually divine compression. God was pressing you into power. So if you've been emotionally unsettled, spiritually agitated, or mentally fatigued, don't curse it. Don't reject it. Don't numb it. Interpret it. This is divine disruption. This is the final trembling before the opening. This is the heaven-ordained pressure before the prophetic release. And know this, what they know about you is not the whole story. They know what you've come from, but they have no idea what's about to come from you. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 666 is now surrounding you. If this word stirred your spirit, then you already know. This is not just content. This is kingdom assignment. When you sow into this mission, you're not giving to a channel. You're unlocking doors in someone else's spiritual timeline. This is about souls. This is about light piercing the dark. This is about prophetic rain falling on dry ground. I heard the Lord say, when my people sow into the sound of heaven, I release the oil of acceleration. If you're feeling that pull, this is your moment to act. Support this movement through super thanks, membership, or PayPal link in the video description. Your seed isn't just seen, it's sanctified. Heaven rewards those who help deliver His word. Don't hesitate. Respond to the pull. Give like you're sowing into eternity. Let the light be broken now. You were not abandoned. You were not cursed. You were not under attack without cause. The truth is far deeper, far holier, far more terrifying to hell itself. You were under training. The fire that came against you wasn't sent to destroy you. It was permitted to shape you. The pressure wasn't punishment. The pain wasn't rejection. It was preparation for your divine assignment. Every hardship you endured was a hidden curriculum. Every battle you faced was an anointing in disguise. The enemies weren't just opposition, they were opportunities for heavenly reinforcement. Archangel Michael didn't stand back while you suffered. He stood guard. While you wept in your car, while you cried behind closed doors, while you prayed without words in the midnight hours, heaven was watching. You were never alone. Not once. The silence around you was filled with angelic activity. There are things you endured that nobody saw. They don't know the depth of your warfare. They weren't there when your mind felt like it was fracturing under the weight of waiting. They didn't see the inner war, the tug of destiny, and the sting of delay colliding in your spirit. But God saw. Heaven documented it all. Every sleepless night. Every fast you pushed through when your body was tired. Every time you praised with tears running down your face. Heaven recorded your endurance. You thought you were fighting just to survive, but you were being measured. Every reaction was a test. Every delay was a divine checkpoint. Your tears were transcripts. Your responses were evaluations. Your obedience, even in confusion, was the evidence God needed to prove you could be trusted. While people judged your weakness, God was promoting your faithfulness. Some trials weren't from the devil. Some weren't even about the people involved. Some were heavenly simulations to test what would rise inside you when everything around you fell. Would you worship without applause? Would you believe without confirmation? Would you still say yes when nothing made sense? And you did. You said yes. Even broken. Even tired. Even unsure. You still whispered yes. And because of that, the scroll has been opened. Because of that, the seal is breaking. Because of that, heaven has ruled. You are ready. You weren't being punished. You were being proven. You weren't losing time. You were gaining power. And now, every scar becomes a signature of your anointing. Every loss becomes a testimony. Every hidden battle becomes spiritual currency in the realm of glory. Archangel Michael was not only fighting for you, he was fighting with you. Every spiritual ambush that was plotted against you was intercepted before it reached you. There are wars you don't even know you've won, because heaven fought them while you slept. There are attacks that were cancelled in realms your natural eyes will never see. And all of it, was for the preparation of this exact moment. You passed the hidden tests. You carried your cross in secret. You endured the training no one applauded. And now, you are trusted with the divine calling no one else can fulfill. This is the day the Lord has made for your rising. The pain wasn't wasted. The silence wasn't pointless. The warfare wasn't random. The seal breaks now. Type "I am ready for warfare" glory in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 4411 is being released over your process. Pay attention, because what I'm about to say carries the weight of urgency and the fire of prophecy. You are no longer in the waiting room of heaven. You've stepped into the crossing point, the place where time bends to align with eternity. Within the next 72 hours, the shift will begin. Spiritually, emotionally, even physically, you will feel it. It will not be subtle. It will not be vague. This is not one of those moments that passes quietly. This is divine interference. This is the trembling of transition. Heaven is moving, and the earth must respond. Pressure will rise before peace settles. That is the first sign. You may feel unrest. You may sense confusion in the atmosphere. People may act strangely. Conversations may become charged. Sleep may be disrupted. But do not misinterpret the turbulence. It is not chaos. It is confirmation. It is the sound of the old realm crumbling and the new realm cracking open. There is opposition preparing for one last distraction. The enemy knows he's lost the war for your destiny, so now he tries to delay the announcement. Do not be surprised if distractions come cloaked in the familiar, old emotions, past habits, unresolved conversations, even people from your past trying to re-enter. This is not coincidence. It is spiritual counterattack. The closer you get to unlocking, the more hell tries to distract you with detours. You must stay alert. This is not the time to answer every call or entertain every voice. This is not the time to explain your journey to those who never carried your burden. This is the time to guard your gate. Because in the next few days, heaven will send you a signal. It may be a dream. It may be a vision. It may come through a stranger, a conversation, a divine moment that makes your spirit sit upright. Do not ignore it. That will be your confirmation. A holy shaking will occur. Things will move that you weren't expecting. Doors will shut that looked promising. People will fall away who once felt permanent. Don't chase them. Don't mourn the release. Every removal is a sign that heaven is making space for something that fits your next dimension. What's coming is not to harm you. It's to confirm heaven's hand. This is not punishment. This is prophecy in motion. You're stepping into a realm of rapid divine activity. What used to take years will begin to unfold in weeks. What once felt blocked will now flow. But you must not lean on logic in this season. You must not seek comfort over clarity. Obedience is your strategy. Sensitivity is your weapon. If you try to rationalize what's happening, you will miss the wonder of what God is doing. This is a warning, but it is not rooted in fear. It is rooted in favor. Heaven wants you to recognize the signs before they fully manifest. God doesn't want the shift to surprise you. He wants it to activate you. This is not about reacting emotionally. It's about positioning yourself prophetically. So listen closely. Over the next 72 hours, document what you feel. Write down what comes in prayer. Record what happens unexpectedly. Heaven is delivering a sequence of divine cues, breadcrumbs, that lead to the door of your next assignment. If you pay attention, you'll know exactly when to step. If you ignore them, you risk delaying what was already unlocked. You are in a divine countdown. Something ancient is awakening in you. Something eternal is being fulfilled through you. And something supernatural is being released around you. Don't miss it. Don't sleep on it. Don't delay your yes with excuses. This is not your moment to think. This is your moment to move. Type "I will not miss my shift" in the comments if you hear this warning. Blessing code 3333 is now covering your alignment. Now that the hour is upon you, the command is simple, yet weighty: be still. This is not the stillness of passivity, nor the stillness of delay. Bliss is the stillness of alignment, strategic, intentional, and divine. You are not being asked to fight this battle. You are being positioned to witness heaven fight for you. Archangel Michael is not idle. The sword has not been lowered. The hosts of heaven are moving around your name even now, and the battleground is shifting in your favor. But the key to this next realm is not loudness, argument, or action. It is silence rooted in spiritual confidence. Silence is not weakness. It is your sword. It is your strategy. It is your shelter. The loudest sound in the spirit realm right now is not your voice, but your restraint. Every time you resist the urge to retaliate, every time you walk away instead of engaging in confusion, every time you hold your peace while others spread their opinions, you are aligning with angelic protocol. This is how heaven wins wars, not with chaos, but with control. Not with panic, but with peace. Withdraw. Observe. Discern. Not everyone who calls your name is sent by God. Not every opportunity is an assignment. You must now move with prophetic caution. The wrong move in this moment could distract you from what has already been released in your favor. The wrong conversation could cloud your discernment. This is not about fear. It's about reverence. The way of this calling requires a depth of silence you've never walked in before. Let heaven lead. In this season, stillness will protect you. Silence will shield you. Quietness will become your compass. Begin to pray at night, when the world is still and your spirit is most open. Speak little and listen much. Rise early and meditate in the quiet dawn. Refuse to defend yourself. Let your silence speak louder than your explanation. God is doing something in your absence that your presence would only complicate. And understand this. When you remain still, the enemy loses access. He cannot interpret stillness. He thrives on reaction. He feeds off noise. But when you are still, when you refuse to move until heaven speaks, the enemy becomes blind to your next step. He cannot trace you. He cannot touch you. He cannot trap you. You are surrounded by light, sealed by presence, guarded by forces you cannot see. Angels have been assigned to your perimeter. You are not walking into battle. You are walking through breakthrough. The noise around you may rise, but do not flinch. Do not panic. Do not respond to confusion with flesh. This battle is not yours. This movement is not man-made. This shift is not emotional. It is prophetic. Stillness is how you stay in step with heaven's timing. Stillness is how you discern which voices are divine and which are distractions. Stillness is how you protect the purity of the promise now being unlocked. Be still, not because you are unsure, but because you are completely secure in the one who sent you. And remember, your stillness is not inactivity. It is intentional warfare. It is how you access divine intelligence. Heaven will whisper when the time to move comes, but until then, let peace be your weapon. Let silence be your statement. Let calm be your cloak. This is how God hides his chosen ones in plain sight. This is how victory is sealed before the world even sees the battle. Type "My stillness is my weapon" in the comments if you're choosing to align. Blessing code 2299 is being released over your rest. Lift your head now. The air has shifted. The weight has lifted. The waiting has served its purpose. You are no longer sitting in the shadows, hoping for permission to become. You are no longer the one wondering if God remembers your name. You are not lost in delay. You are not trapped in process. The old identity has been shed. The old garments have fallen off. And what stands here now, at the edge of divine fulfillment, is not the version of you that entered the fire. It is the one that has been forged in it. You're no longer the one waiting. You're the one being released. The cage has cracked. The seal has snapped. The voice from heaven has roared. And now the earth must respond to what heaven has already confirmed. You are chosen. You are ready. And you are rising. Everything you've been through was not for survival. It was for elevation. Every delay was a launch pad. Every heartbreak was a divine reset. Every unanswered question was the pruning of pride. Every battle was a throne being built beneath your feet. Now comes the unfolding. Now comes the revealing. Now comes the turning of the page. Do you feel it? The ground beneath your spirit is trembling with power. The winds around your name are shifting direction. You're not beneath anymore. You're not behind. You're not on hold. You're being lifted, carried, pulled, elevated by the very hand that molded you in silence. God is not just calling you out, He is crowning you. You are wearing the oil of your process. You are clothed in the authority of your obedience. You are robed in fire. This is not a metaphor. It's a manifestation. The wings of fire that once folded around your pain are now spreading. You are rising. Your shadow is no longer a mark of shame. It has become your strength. Every time you were overlooked, heaven was collecting honor in secret to release it in public. Every time you were passed over, God was preparing the table. And now the host of heaven says, "Feast." The silence is over. The hiding is complete. The preparation has ended. Heaven did not forget you. It formed you. While the world was busy measuring noise, God was measuring substance. While others ran after platforms, you built altars. While others sought visibility, you stayed in the cave. But caves don't bury, they build. And now the cave has opened. And what is walking out is not a survivor. It is a vessel of fire. You've been released from the old definitions. Released from the fear that held your tongue. Released from the patterns that once caged your soul. You're not who you were. You are not just anointed. You are activated. Your voice carries weight now. Your steps release sound. Your presence disturbs darkness. You are no longer becoming. You are. Heaven did not make you endure the fire for nothing. The storm didn't shape a victim. It shaped a warrior. The season of hiding didn't delay you. It aligned you. And now the scroll is open. The angels are moving. And your name is etched into the moment. This is your elevation. This is your divine emergence. The world thought you were silent because you had nothing to say. But heaven knew you were silent because God had something to reveal. And now the heavens speak it loud. Rise, chosen vessel. It is your time. Type "I'm rising now" in the comments if you feel the release. Blessing code 5511 is being activated over your new season. Let the words resound in your spirit like thunder rolling over sacred mountains. What is being unlocked in you is not merely a gift. It is your kingdom function. This is not a seasonal skill. This is not temporary inspiration. This is not a talent you stumble into an accident. What has been activated in this hour was written into the foundation of your spirit before the foundation of the world. You are not rising by chance. You are rising by prophetic design. For years, the timing was withheld, not because you were unworthy, but because the environment wasn't ready. The people weren't aligned. The gatekeepers weren't positioned. The terrain of your life had not yet been cultivated for the weight of what was coming. Heaven, in its wisdom, delayed the public unveiling of your calling until every piece was in position. Not one day too soon. Not one moment too late. And now, finally, the alignment has appeared. The warfare wasn't to stop you. It was to secure you. The waiting wasn't to waste you. It was to watch you. The silence wasn't abandonment. It was sacred strategy. Because heaven does not rush the release of those who carry fire. It waits. It watches. It tests the vessel. It hides the assignment. And then, in the fullness of divine time, it declares, now. And this is that now. The scroll has not only been opened, it has been read aloud in the chambers of glory. Your name, spoken in heavenly places. Your assignment, finally revealed. And the oil for the season is not being dripped, it's being poured. The heavens are not whispering your name, they are shouting it. Earth is being instructed to make room. Doors are under divine command to open. Relationships are being restructured. Resources are being redirected. Favor is now following you like a soldier assigned to guard a royal gate. Hear this clearly. What's coming next is not about elevation for admiration. It is about alignment for execution. You are being positioned to function at full capacity. No more partial identity. No more suppressed expression. No more playing small to make others comfortable. Your voice was built to shake nations. Your presence was designed to displace darkness. Your mind carries blueprints of heaven. You are not just a believer, you are a builder. A vessel through which God will unlock realms others have only dreamed about. This is your prophetic promotion. Not one earned through performance, but one sealed by obedience. Every yes you gave in the dark, every time you chose holiness when compromise was easier, every prayer you prayed with trembling hands, they are now being answered in divine manifestation. Your name is being spoken in places your feet haven't entered yet. People are being stirred to help you, though they don't know why. Doors are opening that logic can't explain. Strategies are forming in your mind that didn't come from study, but from spirit. This is the hour where heaven confirms that your time is not coming. It has come. And you must understand, this is not just an awakening. This is not a hint. This is not a suggestion. This is your official commissioning. The weight you feel right now, that pressure in your chest, that stirring in your soul, that is the mantle resting upon you. Heaven's rope has touched your shoulders. Do not fear it. Do not question it. Accept it. This is your appointed hour. This is your revealed function. This is the unlocking of divine identity that only you can fulfill. Type "My function is unlocked" in the comments if this is your confirmation. Blessing code 8888 is descending on your alignment. If this word pierced your spirit, don't scroll past it. Right now, heaven is aligning hearts across the earth, and your giving helps carry that alignment into lives who are still waiting for their word. This isn't about helping a platform. This is about sowing into the release of destiny for thousands more. When you support this mission, you unlock more than content. You become a key in someone else's prophetic breakthrough. The Lord is saying, "Those who invest in my movement will drink from rivers they didn't dig and harvest from fields they didn't plant." The oil you sow into today will drip into tomorrow's freedom for others. You can support through Super Thanks, channel membership, or directly via PayPal. Link is in the video description. Don't hesitate. Give in alignment. Give in faith. Give because heaven said, "Now is the time to release." The Spirit of the Lord says, heaven is no longer waiting. The sound of hesitation is being silenced, and the language of obedience is being activated in the hearts of the chosen. This is not your awakening. It already happened in the night hours, in the quiet rooms, in the silent places where you wrestled with your yes. That moment, that yielding, that trembling agreement with God, that was your awakening. Now you stand on the edge of your release. You've passed through the wilderness. You've endured the refining. You've felt the pressing of silence, the pain of delay, and the constant echo of "When, Lord?" But now, the waiting breaks open into motion. The when becomes now. The delay transforms into delivery. And heaven, with full authority and undeniable urgency, says to you, destiny is being activated. This isn't poetic. It's prophetic. The heavens are not suggesting you move. They are commanding it. Your scroll is no longer sealed. Your purpose is no longer hidden. Your name is being spoken, not in the whispers of the enemy's accusations, but in the declarations of divine purpose. You are being summoned, not asked, not invited. Summon. Because your obedience in private has qualified you for exposure in power. Now, heaven waits for your why yes, your whole yes. Not the yes that waits for confirmation. Not the yes that depends on comfort. Not the yes that needs every question answered. But the yes that leaps. The yes that surrenders. The yes that unlocks the gate. Heaven responds to movement. Purpose is not a concept, it's a door. And doors don't open to thoughts. They open to steps. God does not move on your potential. He moves on your obedience. Every dream, every word, every promise that's hovered over your life, it is waiting for your next act of faith. Not your feelings. Not your emotions. Not your logic. Your faith. So rise now, not emotionally, but prophetically. Rise in your declaration. Rise in your mindset. Rise in your action. Declare with authority, I am aligned. I am chosen. I open now. Speak it until your environment shifts. Speak it until your mind accepts it. Speak it until the earth bends to the weight of your calling. This is not a season for hesitating prophets. This is not a time for distracted visionaries. This is the hour for the called and the confident. The ones who don't ask the fire for permission. They walk through it. The ones who don't wait for the crowd to clap. They move when heaven says move. The ones who know the sound of destiny when it knocks, and they answer with action. Understand this. Delay is not just disobedience. It is spiritual interference. Faith without movement is like light without heat. It flickers, but it never burns. It glows, but it never transforms. You must move now. Destiny requires participation. And when you step, heaven steps with you. When you declare, heaven declares louder. When you open your mouth, heaven opens the gates. God has already moved. The scroll has already turned. The seal is already broken. The angels are already in formation. And now, you must move. This is not just about you. This is about every person assigned to your obedience. Every soul tied to your yes. Every breakthrough that will ripple from your surrender. Say it now. Not with your mind. With your soul. Not with fear. With force. Say it like heaven is watching. Because it is. I am aligned. I am chosen. I open now. Type my yes is active in the comments if you're stepping into your release. Blessing code 9991 is now unlocking realms over your voice. There are things that happened in the spirit realm that your natural eyes never witnessed, but your soul felt every shift. While you slept, while you cried, while you lay still in exhaustion and uncertainty, heaven was not still. The Spirit of God moved across timelines, through dimensions, and into territories you couldn't reach on your own. And while your flesh rested, your name was spoken in rooms you didn't know existed. Your destiny was not left unattended. Your assignment was not left unguarded. Something holy was being negotiated behind the veil. While you questioned your worth, angels were negotiating your restoration. While you cried over loss, heaven was preparing return. There was a silent exchange, a divine transaction. What the enemy tried to steal in secret, God reclaimed in silence. And the exchange wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was precise, intentional, eternal. God took your tears and traded them for strength. He took your delay and traded it for dominion. He took your pain and wrote it as prophetic power. There was a trade made that the earth could not see, but the heavens documented with sacred ink. Every sleepless night became currency in the realm of glory. Every whispered prayer became evidence in heaven's court. And now the transaction is complete. Your past wasn't erased. It was restructured. Nothing was lost. Nothing was wasted. Everything was repositioned. Everything was recalibrated. Everything was measured, weighed, and used. Your waiting didn't cancel the promise. It multiplied its power. The delay didn't dilute your destiny. It deepened your depth. The long path didn't detour the scroll. It qualified you to carry it. You must know this. Your restlessness was never random. Your pacing wasn't just anxiety. It was your spirit responding to divine movement. The shaking in your gut, the sudden tears with no explanation, the weight that pressed on your chest for weeks. These weren't emotional symptoms. These were prophetic signals. Your spirit knew what your mind could not grasp. It was heaven moving. It was your destiny being edited, your path being clear, your name being reinstated. You weren't forgotten. You were being finalized. The silence was never empty. It was sacred. It was full of divine activity. While your hands could do nothing, God's hands were doing everything. He was removing the wrong names from your future. He was untangling the cords of confusion. He was placing fire around your calling so no counterfeit could reach it. This exchange was not casual. It was covenant. God stood over your promise like a judge, like a father, like a warrior. He reviewed every accusation spoken against your name. And he ruled, not guilty, not denied, not disqualified. What was spoken against you has no more weight. What was done to you has no more access. What was delayed for you has no more chains. You are walking in on the other side of an exchange you didn't even know was happening. And that's why things feel different. That's why doors are about to open before you even knock. That's why favor is meeting you before you even ask. Because heaven has already cleared the way. The price has already been paid. The weight has already been shifted. And the gates have already been opened. All that's left is for you to walk in. This is not about proving yourself. This is about trusting the trade. Trust what happened while you rested. Trust what was redeemed while you were silent. Trust what was restored when you felt forgot. You type I receive what was traded for me in the comments if your spirit senses this truth. Blessing code 3030 is now wrapping your life with divine reversal. Now comes the justice of the Lord. The gavel has fallen in the courts of heaven, and the judgment has been written in holy fire. Enough. The verdict is sealed. The scales have been balanced. The pain you carried, the lies you endured, the injustice you survived, it has reached heaven, and now it returns to you, not as wounds, but as witness. You are not stepping forward empty-handed. You are stepping forward with recompense in your mouth, restoration in your hands, and reversal in your shadow. There were things done to you in secret that heaven never ignored. There were words spoken in rooms you weren't in, words meant to assassinate your name, your purpose, your momentum. But what they failed to realize was that God was listening. Every slander became a seed in the soil of divine reversal. Every betrayal became a platform for breakthrough. What was meant to break you has only made you undeniable. Those who misjudged you will witness your ascension. Those who dismissed your process will now have to watch your promotion. Not for the sake of revenge, but for the sake of vindication. Heaven does not forget the tears of the righteous. Heaven does not overlook the cries of the call. There is a reversal happening even now, a great flipping of the script. The last is becoming first. The hidden is becoming seen. The shamed is becoming celebrated. You don't have to fight for it. You don't have to prove yourself. You don't have to strive to be heard. Heaven has ruled in your favor. And when heaven speaks, no man, No demon, no lie, no system can override it. What was done in darkness is now being dragged into the light, not to shame you, but to shine on you. Not to humiliate others, but to elevate you without compromise. This is divine reversal. And it's not just about recovery. It's about restoration with interest. You are about to receive joy in the same area you mourned, peace in the same space you battled, recognition in the same place you were ignored. Heaven is reversing not just your situation, it's reversing your reputation. The labels placed on you are being peeled off. The false narratives are being silenced. The misunderstanding is being corrected by the manifestation of God's hand on your life. Let them watch. Let them wonder. Let them whisper. Their confusion will be your confirmation. Their silence now will only amplify the sound of your elevation later. You are not walking with bitterness. You are walking with glory. You are not moving in pride. You are moving in power. Because what was once your affliction has now become your anointing. What was once your breaking has now become your banner. This is the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in the sight of the earth. You didn't manipulate this. You didn't chase it. You didn't force it. You obey. You surrendered. You endured. And now, justice has found your address. Reversal has found your name. Honor has found your lineage. This is not just for you. It's for everything attached to you. Generational cycles are being broken. Bloodline curses are being reversed. The favor falling on you now will flood into every room you enter, every person you touch, every legacy you build. Heaven says, you suffered in silence long enough. Now you will shine in glory without apology. This is your moment of divine reversal. The table has been set. The seat is prepared. And the feast of fulfillment is ready. Type I receive heaven's justice in the comments if this is your reversal. Blessing code 5151 is now sealing your vindication. And now we come to the final turning of the scroll. The moment the heavens have waited for. The moment your spirit already knew was near, even when your eyes could not see it. October 11th is not just a date. It is a divine decree. On this day, the heavens have opened, and what was locked for years, what was held back for generations, has now been released over your life. Your calling, the one no one else can fulfill, has been unlocked by the very hand of God. You are standing on the edge of manifestation. No longer are you chasing identity. You are walking in inheritance. No longer are you waiting for validation. You have been sealed by sovereignty. No longer are you searching for open doors. Heaven has already opened the one with your name etched into the frame. The delay is over. The shadows have lifted. The sound of silence has been replaced with the roar of destiny. You are no longer hidden, no longer held back, no longer second-guessing the weight of your purpose. This day marks a spiritual shift that will follow you for the rest of your life. From this day forward, clarity will chase you. Favor will surround you. Alignment will find you. You will walk with the awareness that you are not just called, you are commissioned. God Himself has authorized your rising. And Archangel Michael stands as witness and warrior. guarding the gate of your new dimension. As you go forward, walk boldly. Walk freely. Walk silently when heaven commands it, and roar loudly when your voice is required. Speak when the Spirit moves, and be still when heaven wars. You will no longer apologize for your anointing. You will no longer shrink to make others comfortable. You will no longer delay what has already been decided. You are seen. You are sealed. You are sent. The fire you felt. It was not destruction. It was distinction. The weight you carried. It was not punishment. It was preparation. The isolation you endured. It was not abandonment. It was divine insulation. And now, the birthing is complete. The scroll has been unrolled. The trumpet has sounded. And the call has gone forth. Let it echo in your bones and never leave your spirit. October 11th is the day God turned the key. The prison doors of your delay have opened. The vault of your purpose has swung wide. The scroll has been placed in your hands. Now, open. Type "I am unlocked" in the comments if you receive this final word. Blessing code 4444 is now finalizing your divine release. If this message was confirmation for your spirit, then you are not just a receiver. You are a carrier of what heaven is doing. Partner with this prophetic movement. Help us spread this word to every soul still waiting for their scroll to open. Your giving is not about helping us. It's about becoming a vessel God uses to ignite purpose in others. The Lord says, "I will cause those who fund my fire to walk in miracles they didn't expect." This is your chance to sow into something eternal, to build with the angels, to align your resources with a divine mission. Support through super thanks, membership, or directly via PayPal link in the description. Your giving is not an offering. It is a prophetic transaction. Respond with action. Move with obedience. Release what's in your hand, and watch heaven release what's in His.